Welcome to No Prize Podcast, all about Marvel Comics, Disney Plus, and the MCU. I am the Professor, Bud Young. That's Johnny, the Machine Hughes. That's Lucas. What's going on, guys?
There is nothing going on but playoff football. Woo!
There is no playoff football happening in Boston this year.
I am so excited that the Dolphins are going to go to Buffalo and get their asses handed to them. It is unbelievable. Woo!
Well, you guys can support Tom Brady, all right?
Yeah, we will be watching the Bucks. I saw a good meme. Saw a good meme the other day. Is that the combined playoff wins for all the quarterbacks in the playoffs this year is 15, and Tom Brady has 35.
Jeez.
Two reasons why you shouldn't be shouting for Tom Brady this weekend. Two reasons. One, it's Tom Brady. Come on. Two, you should never be shouting for a team that makes the playoff with a losing record. It is absolutely.
You should never
shocking.
be rooting for the freaking Cowboys.
It should be. If you have a losing record, you should not make the playoffs. When you've got other teams with winning records in other, like in the NFC East, for example, who aren't making the playoffs, to me that is celebrating mediocrity. And unfortunately, the Bucks this year have been absolutely mediocre. No, stop it. Anyone shouting for the Bucks needs the head shouting. Needs the head looking at. Don't shout for losing teams.
Yeah. Hey, no, I hear. Here, Johnny. I agree with you 100%.
If you can't post a winning record to get in the playoffs, then you don't deserve to be there.
The other team should get a bye, right?
Yeah, defo. No.
I apologize to everybody. It seems that Johnny Machine Hughes is the only one drinking today.
What should happen? I mean, do you remember when the Niners and the Saints were practically neck and neck back in the late 80s? And the Saints ended up lost 2 games, and they ended up being a wild card. That is bang out of order. So for me, if you win your division at 8 and 9, that's telling you your team sucks.
Yep.
Your team sucks. There is no. What's the point? You could put out your players. You're putting your star players out for another week. You're going to get injured. Could lose the careers over a meaningless game that you're never going to win because you're
just disqualified the whole division that year.
No, just sack them off. You're not good enough. The Bucks aren't as good as the third place team in one of the other two. In the NFC Central. You'd rather have the Packers in than Lions. You should have the Lions in.
Right. No, hey, you know what? I agree with you 100%. So we'll go there. So now when we talk about what did you call it? Mediocrity?
Mediocrity, baby.
Mediocrity when we're talking about football. We could also just jettison right into that and talk Marvel Comics. Mediocrity.
Mediocrity Comics. I don't think it has the same ring, my friend.
Right. So that's I don't know if we wanted to talk about a comic first and then kind of go into my little rant today. But did we want to talk Daredevil?
Rant. Hey, run the roll. Let's go for it.
All right, let's do the rant, and then I'll try to find the energy to talk about some of the books that came out this week. So we got our pile of books that we were perusing to figure out what books to talk about this week, and we got, I think, what was it, 22 books this week, and I've been complaining about this for a while, and I just think it's just time. And I will preface this by saying, and maybe including all of us on this podcast, we are Marvel fans of a certain age, right? Mm-hmm. So I imagine that there are a lot of the books that are coming out right now that are just not aimed at me or you
or me.
Right. So, the thing that is bugging me is just the amount of stuff I think is either overdone, and maybe what we call mediocre. So maybe these things are put out before they're fully baked, right? So I have a top 5 of the things that are really bugging me, and I didn't want this to turn into a pet peeve list.
We should have some of that. We should have that music.
I should have done graphics and everything, but I would really I wheedled this down. From a top. I actually have a top 10, but I wheedled it down to a top 5. So
right. Top 5.
So at 5. At 5. So is I think that we need less events. Good music. So we need less events in the Marvel universe. Right now, we're talking, and we're going to be talking about Dark Web, right? That totally disrupts the continuity and this flow of certain stories by certain writers on certain books, right? So we have Dark Web. We have John Romita Jr. is the only smart one, right? Because he refuses to draw crossover books.
Yeah, I'm out.
And I mean, he might not come out and say it, but we all know, right? He's just doing the main storyline, and if there's a crossover, there's a fill-in artist in there. So we have the Dark Web crossover for the last couple of issues in Amazing Spider-Man, and that book is totally taken out of the flow of whatever has happened, and not to mention the fact that we have umpteen million satellite books out there touching on different parts of the story that no one cares about anyway. So, not to mention, we have a second event going on right now in that 5-issue limited series from Dan Slott, The End of Spider-Verse. That
miniseries.
It's a 5-issue miniseries. No, Spider-Man is going to continue after issue 5, but this storyline is 5 issues. Now this one doesn't get any satellite books, but we got satellite books before the book dropped, right? So we got a couple of issues of introducing new variant Spider people, which is part 2 of my rant. Part 2 of my rant is too many multiversal characters that are diluting the brand of the heroes that we love. We don't need Captain America times 15. I don't need to read a book with 15 different Captain Americas. This isn't even multiversal Captain Americas. These are people that decide that they want to put a blue hood on with an A on the front and call themselves Captain America. And I get it that, America looks different to everybody. And so Captain America should look different to everybody. And that's the whole idea of the thing. But no, these writers are writing to introduce these variant characters of an already established brand in hopes that they get noticed by Disney and get included in the next miniseries. So that to me is just the wrong reason to be creating these characters, the wrong reason to be writing. And in a lot of these instances, I think the writing, the art is just not up to par to create any kind of audience that they want to establish, right? When we talk about multiversal characters, we talk about this, the other event going on, Avengers Assemble. Terrible crossover with too many multiversal characters that no one cares about. You're seeing for the first time in this crossover. They're probably gonna kill some of them off, but you know what? Who cares? Right? Same thing with. All right. The other thing. So moving on to my next one. Less books.
Okay. Oh, hey, easy, Jerry Maguire. Do you remember Jerry Maguire? He said less clients, less money.
Clients. Right.
It's like, dude, what do you do? He's been up late last night working on his laptop in a fever sweat, hugging a blanket. He's got Cameron Crowe on speed dial saying, "Cameron, what should I do?" Loads of film references in there, but no one's going to get them. It's fine.
I think less is more. I think no one in this world needs 11 X-Men books a month. I don't think anybody's reading all of them except us, except me. I don't even think you guys are reading all. They're interchangeable. You can switch one out. I get confused in between issues, in between storylines, in between characters because none of them have set lineups. I don't even know what I'm reading half the time. So I think less books would be more concentration on just a smaller amount of characters. I think a lot of the same reasons that those books are coming out is just throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks, right? I think.
Well, I mean, yeah, I get where you're coming from, but if you're doing like lots of little mini series, i.e., lots of books that are coming out, this is a model that works really well for Dark Horse and for Valiant. You know, they don't have like an ongoing set of books to support the spine of their publishing arc like Marvel do. But those miniseries, which then create the glut of books created by creators who probably aren't the A-list creators that you want on your A-list characters, you know, I get where you're coming from. I mean, Thunderbolts and then a Monica Rambeau miniseries on top of that. It's like, how many times do we need to see that bunch of characters, right?
Yeah. You could see the thing that bothers me is when you bring up the Thunderbolts. You could call the Thunderbolts West Coast Avengers, and no one would even know or care or what. You know, yeah. It's a book without an identity, really, and they just throw the trade dress on there and hope that people buy it because of the Thunderbolts movie is coming out, right?
Yeah. And I think some of these books only cater to the fans in the know. So I'm going to name drop. I was speaking to Kelly Thompson recently. That's right, the Kelly Thompson.
The
Kelly Thompson. Outside the Panels interview coming in a couple of days. Go check it out. And we got into the conversation of why Captain Marvel has had so many volumes, you know. And she was like, you know what? It's the hardest thing in the world to maintain sales in this industry. You know, look at how you guys look at Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman's a great supporting character in Avengers and in Captain Marvel. Put in a book on her own, and it barely lasts, 13 issues? Something like that, 15 issues. Mm-hmm. Black Cat, great fun character in Spider-Man. Great in little spots, apart from the Dark Web book. But then put her in a series on their own, it just doesn't work. So I think some of these books that come out, they're too spurious. They're too like, does anybody care? Does anybody care about some of these characters?
Right. So, well, that goes back to what the professor was talking about earlier. We don't need 5 different Spider-Man books, and they're all in the same vein of the Dark Web. What I do understand is like Moon Girl and the Devil Dinosaur, because she's actually got a series coming out. Photon, because the Marvels is supposed to be coming out sometime this year. Then you got 3 or 4 different freaking Star Wars books. We don't need that. Then we don't need another Predator book on top of that. Maybe offset them, right? So we don't have that many sci-fi books coming all at once. Here's what I do see that I can understand. Avengers coming out every week. I can see an X-Men book coming out, not 3 or 4 books coming out every week.
Wait. What's this number 3 or 4 when you talk about X books?
Don't
you mean 13 or 14?
So this week we had X-Men, Wolverine. Let's see what else was it. X-Men, Legion of X. And it looks like so that's 3 right there. But then they're piling on diversity stuff, which is fine, but they don't all need to happen all in the same week. So for instance, Tiger Division, Black Panther, then what are we missing? You know, you cover Asian, you cover African, you got Captain America. We need a South American hero book. You know, if they're going to do all that, but they don't need to pile all that stuff all in one week, which made it 22.
Well, that's
not the record, by the way.
And so a couple of weeks ago, I think we got 6 Star Wars books in 1 week, right? Didn't we, Johnny?
Oh, man, yeah, it was killing me.
But and think of that. You know, these books are what, $5, $4.99, $3.99 retail, right? So let's call it $4.99. There's $5 a book. So you 6 Star Wars books. If you're collecting the whole line, that's $30 you're dropping on books. You know,
for a flimsy piece
a
of
week.
paper.
Yeah. I mean, it's nuts. And when you're thinking about if you're collecting all of the entire X-Men line, that's 11 books a month, 12 books a month, and that's not counting these satellite crossover separate titles. It's tough, and I think that these events, that this is where they're saving their sphere interactions. So the only time the X-Men and the Avengers meet are in the pages of these satellite books. They don't meet in the pages of their own books anymore. You know, the only time Spider-Man ever meets up with any of the X-Men or any of the Avengers really are in these dark web crossover type books. So they're saving all that stuff, and to me, just makes no sense. I mean, it makes sense on the capitalist level, but if you're a fan, how do you keep up?
Well, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. There's just too much, stuff, and there's too much of the same stuff. You don't need all the X books looking like themselves, looking like each other.
Yep. So I'm going to jump into my fourth thing, and this is I wrote these down like how to fix Marvel, but really I'm kind of spanking them, right? Like this.
Hey, that's fine.
Continuity is my
number 4. Hey, the C word. He dropped the C word.
It doesn't exist anymore in Marvel. In the last month, so it was just you were talking about Kelly Thompson. Did you ask her why the heck Spider-Woman is appearing in the pages of Captain Marvel when she died in the pages of Spider-Man? And we all know she's going to be back by the end of issue 5. But if we're talking continuity, what's up?
No, I didn't ask that question, unfortunately. I did ask some other questions. But I'm not going to tell you what the questions are because you have to listen to the pod.
Didn't she also have Doctor Strange show up in the pages of Captain Marvel when he's actually been dead for over a year now in his own book? Was that Captain Marvel, or was that a different? Who knows if it was Dark Web Captain Marvel or something where Doctor Strange showed up? I don't know.
I think last time that time Strange was in it. She slept with him, and that was way before he died.
So it's definitely another book then. I know we were talking about.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Strange has appeared in a book that we looked at recently. Definitely.
Yeah, and we were like, he's dead. Yeah. He's been dead. He's been dead for a year. He's coming back in March, and he's been gone for over a year. So I don't know. So that's my one of my big continuity issues. We have Black Panther leaving the Avengers, but still being on the Avengers in other books. And then, in fact, in this week's Black Panther, him and Captain America got in a big fight, and I think that was kind of a police brutality thing when they showed Captain America beating the crap out of the Black Panther. I heard that there was a bit of an outrage over that. Yeah,
for Christ's sakes.
Yeah. And then, of course, we've talked about this for years. Marvel using their villains. Remember, we were talking about almost on a weekly basis. The Wrecking Crew appeared in this book. The Wrecking Crew appeared in this book. They were overused and over appearing. We're seeing it right now with Mephisto, right? Because we had Mephisto appearing in all of the Avengers books simultaneously, and then he was in Ghost Rider, or he was in Spider-Man, or he was in he was just everywhere. And overuse is they seem to be like the poster child of the year, really, this year. And we know who this year's villain is going to be, right? It's Kang the Conqueror, because we're weeks away from the Ant-Man movie with Quantumania, with Kang as the main villain. He's going to be in absolutely everything. I know he is, and it drives me nuts because there's nothing we can do to prevent it.
Right. There used to be a way to see. So, for instance, I used to say, hey, if you start seeing one particular character more and more and more inside the comics, they were eventually going to make it to the MCU. Now that's not true. Now they're just throwing stuff in there just to throw stuff in there, right? And that's what's disappointing a lot of speculators. It's like, oh, okay, maybe I'm seeing Blue Marvel a lot more. Maybe I should pick up Blue Marvel. Yeah, we still haven't gotten Blue Marvel. Hey, I'm starting to see Dr. Aphra. She's got her own book, and she's on this other book. Maybe I should. Dr. Aphra's coming soon. Nope, that's not coming. And that's what's disappointing to a lot of these people. Is like, okay, once again, I should be able to go to these books and read these books and then see more go to the TV series or the movies and see it on live screen, and that's just not happening.
Yep.
You know?
Agreed.
Yep. So I think so. I'm going to jump my number 5 thing, and I think this kind of encompasses everything that my prior gripes is better editing. I think the editors in the books are the ones that they're the behind the scenes. They drive what production for Marvel. They hire creative teams. They are involved in the storytelling process. I'm sure that they have some kind of a master list of what needs to happen in the Marvel universe this year, and then they hire the writers to go do it. And that really is what it comes down to. That's the editing is why all of these X-Men books look the same. The editing is why we're getting all these same villains and everything, because the editors aren't saying anything. The editors are, maybe they even have a directive. I don't know. I wish I was in these rooms when it happened and like could see that the shareholders say we need more Doctor Doom this year. Or to Lucas's point, Blue Marvel is trending upwards, and we need to use him in more books because we want him to be appearing in a movie within the next 2 years. So we need the fans to know who he is, and and that's really I know that's what's happening. So it's depressing. I want the creators to be able to tell their stories. I want Zeb Wells to be able to tell his Amazing Spider-Man story that we were all on board for the first couple of months, and now we have to wait. We just saw March solicitations. We were supposed to find out what Peter did in the pages of Amazing Spider-Man. That's issue 22.
I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that. If it wasn't, I'm all right with that if it wasn't for the event books. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if we take out the event books, it would be issue 12.
No, fair enough. But what I'm saying is, I don't mind the suspense going 22 issues if the event books were also main story books. Is what I'm saying. The count for me. So Amazing Spider-Man comes out twice a month, right? So it's only been a year.
Yeah,
and I'm all right with that. Actually, I quite like the idea that there's like a little subplot going on in the background, percolating away. I quite like that.
I understand that, Johnny, and I love subplots in books too because it gives you a sign of what's to come. But that's the main plot. I think that's the main plot.
Fair enough. Where's Chris Claremont? Let's get him back on.
All right, so let's take a break real quick, and then we'll come back and start talking some of the actual comics that came out. Let's watch this ad for our sister show, The Definitive Crusade. Make sure to check out The Definitive Crusade that releases on opposite weeks of No Prize Podcast, starring that man, Johnny the Machine Hughes.
We hold the record for the longest advert on the UCPN.
Oh, congratulations. All right, so let's go into this first circle of hell. And
Whoa! Dante's bloody big. Just answer this. Well, fair enough.
all right, yeah, we're gonna talk Daredevil number 7.
Ooh.
Johnny, your book.
Right, so this is written by Chip Zdarsky, art by Raphael De La Torre, whatever, and Marco. How do you pronounce that surname? Chiquitito. That's how I'm going with. Inks by Elisabetta D'Amico and colors by Matthew Wilson. Got that one. Clayton Cowles from VC is on letters. This has been a bit of a slow burner when you consider how great Zdarsky's previous Daredevil run has been. The whole Devil Rain thing worked really, really well. So well that DC are using the same idea over in Action Comics 1050. Don't know what I'm talking about? Go check out Last TDC. Go on. Not sure of the whole overall story on this one, to be honest. I get that Elektra and Daredevil are now together, and they're forming an anti-hand, as it were, to kind of deal with that. The thing that I have problems with are a couple of things. The Punisher joining the hand. What? The Punisher, that seems like a stretch for him, considering the hand would be the people who commit crimes, and therefore Punisher would want to get rid of them, not join them. Who do you think he is joining the bad guys? Do you think he's Anakin Skywalker? You were meant to destroy the hands, not join them. No. Oh, tell you.
That actually sounded a little like Ewan McGregor there, Johnny. Very well. Very good.
Yeah, well, he's British. I've got a leg up on
Get that going for you.
Yeah. You're my brother, Anakin. There you go.
Well, if you read the Punisher book, there's more detail into why he's.
Has he been brainwashed? Has he been? Is it all?
Yes.
Yay! Thank the Lord. All right, so hopefully Daredevil's going to kick some sense into his head. I remember last year when they changed the Punisher icon, and there was all hell to play for that. I don't care about it one way or the other, to be honest. Elektra looks great in this. The only other issue I've got with it, I suppose, is the idea of prophecies. Now, there's a prophecy about Elektra and Matt. There's a prophecy about this. There's another prophecy about that. You got his mate saying he's controlling things, so Matt does the right things. I'm like, you know what? Stop. Prophecies are all well and good, but sooner or later you fall under the weight of them all. Professor, you'll appreciate this. I'm going to say 2 words. Babylon 5 collapses under the weight of all the expectations that has been set. Yes. Now, for me, Zdarsky's got enough credit in the bank, apart from that god-awful Batman 130. I mean, who falls from space without a spacesuit and lands without breaking a board, only to get shot? That's right, Batman. So I'm going to give him some leeway. I'm going to, I've been buying this book. I've been buying Daredevil since the Devil's Reign. This is on my pull list still. I'm bang up to date with it. So how much longer is this going to go? I don't know. I really don't know. The art looks great. The colors look fantastic. So it has that sort of like dark feel to it. Love the sort of radar sense that is going on to find the bombs in this. But I also find it's truly ironic that a blind man can't see what's in front of him. But hey ho, that's just a different story altogether. There you go. I am done.
Lucas, what do you think of Daredevil number 7?
It started out amazing, and then it went down from there. It started out with this storyline where they were talking about people who were getting kicked out of their homes on lease violations, which is like a real big thing that's been happening within the last month, where these property owners have been hiring these companies like Tenement and Capsule something and BlackRock. They've been hiring these companies to put up surveillance systems inside of the buildings to watch for lease violations, like, hey, you might have had somebody stay over longer than they should have, or you had your dog running around off leash or something like that, or just weird stuff. And then they serve you with a lease violation, and then after like 2 or 3, they get to kick you out. And you were like, oh well, if you did this lease violation, you should get kicked out. Well, disproportionately they've been doing it in black neighborhoods and Latino neighborhoods. That's why it's such a big thing right now. So it was great. Like, okay, so Darcy went after that, which I think the type of stuff that Daredevil should be, between Daredevil and Black Panther, they should be freaking going after, and talking about. And then from there, we went into this fever dream of the Hand and Punisher and doing all this other stuff. And I don't get it. And after they went to all that stuff, I just didn't care. You know, um, they got the whole romantic relationship with him and Elektra, which has been a thing over and over again. And it's like, okay, I, I really just don't care at this point. Are they going to? Okay, they're hitting skins. Are they ever going to have a baby? Can they have a baby? I don't know. So
Why would they have a baby? I mean, babies in the Marvel universe don't generally last very long. Look at Spider-Woman's kid, Jerry. When was the last time you saw him?
I don't know. Long time. Yeah.
The dude's probably left college by the time we see him again.
No. We saw him in a multiverse thing where he was all grown up.
I just said, yeah, he's probably left college by now. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we take multiverse bull stuff out of 2023? I know we got Kang, or just at least keep all the multiverse stuff to one book or something like that. But yeah, that's all I got, man. He missed me with all the rest of that stuff, but I do love the social political stuff that they put in this book, because it was very relevant, very new. That this is happening, and not 6 to 7 months, and then everybody's wondering what the heck is going on. So, I do think the fact that they did it very relevantly and on time overpowers the rest of the crap of the book that this was.
I think so. I think Zdarsky's second run. I call this is his second run at Daredevil, even though it's been an uninterrupted run. They did reboot it on him. So I think that this one is suffering a little bit from the fact that he's splitting his time on Batman, and I think that it's also suffering because this is a crossover with the Punisher book, with a different writer.
Which book is he writing on? In DC, is it Batman?
He's writing two. He's writing Batman, the main Batman book, and Batman the Knight is a 10-issue miniseries, which number 10 should be out very shortly if it's not out already.
So he's not writing the Joker getting pregnant storyline.
No,
that he's not guilty of that. The other thing, I think that in this particular issue, I think the most interesting characters in this book are the villains. We have Speed Demon and Stiltman and Bullet. Bullet was one of my favorite Daredevil villains from like 30 years ago, 40 years ago when Ann Nocenti was on Daredevil, because she actually fleshed his character out, and he was more than a one-dimensional villain, which I thought that was great at the time, because a lot of the villains were one-dimensional. So having Bullet in here kind of took me back to back in the day when I was a Daredevil fan, and I like I kind of think Stiltman's kind of a stupid villain, and Speed Demon too, but I'm willing to stick around to see what the heck is going on with it. But I do kind of fear that they're just cannon fodder for the Punisher, because the Punisher's just going to kill them all.
Just to complete my Spider-Woman fetish, bring back Porcupine. Okay, done now.
All right, yeah. Hey, let's bring back Porcupine. All right, so that's one up, one down. Let's go to our next book, Lucas. We have the Dark Web Satellite book, Mary Jane and Black Cat.
Before we get into this, I just want to say, if you miss a show, then you shouldn't be allowed to pick a really bad book when you return. Just saying. We should put that as a rule. Saying.
Who
okay, if
Lucas
you
might like this book. Let's
just saying. All right, carry on. Sorry, I'm joking.
Well, so Wait, so I didn't miss it. I think you guys just misinformed me. You guys had the little show without me, so that's what happened.
How do you misinform a show that's at the same time every 2 weeks?
Yeah, but during New Year's and Christmas, you
Ah,
guys are
Yeah.
dude.
having all that stuff.
Hey,
I
it's-
bet there's a drinking session going on once every 2 weeks. I bet you don't miss that, do you?
Of course not. Of
Nah.
course not. I gotta double up. You know what I mean? I would triple up if I had 3 arms and hands. Um, Look, so written by Jed McKay, art is by
Great.
Vincenzo Caruto, color art by Brian Reber, VC's Ariana Mayher doing lettering, cover art. This beautiful cover art right here, done by J. Scott Campbell. What's been going on is that within this whole dark web craziness that's been going on, Black Cat and Mary Jane have been, getting together. Black Cat went way across town to make sure that Mary Jane was okay. Turns out now Mary Jane has powers. What type of powers we don't quite know yet because every time she tries to use them, they change it to different ones. So in the meantime, they've been gone down. They've been hired to go down to Limbo by Belasco for a job. What's the job? Well, it's supposed to be to get this soul sword, which will help them out to do what we don't know yet. Um, but in order to get the soul sword, they got to go into this creepy tower that's deep in the heart of freaking Limbo. And it sounds easy for somebody that's supposed to have powers and a black cat, but apparently there's like 100,000 other people and other creatures trying to do the same thing at the same time. So that's where we're left at, right? They go against some of them, they knock some of them out, whatever, and that's it. I still love this combination of Mary Jane and Black Cat because right beneath all of this action is the secret, or whether secret or not secret, of the fact that Black Cat dating Peter Parker. She's still hanging out with him. Um, there allude to a secret. And I don't think that's the secret that she's alluding to. There's something else that's going on, but that's enough of a hook to keep me freaking going. Plus the beautiful art, interior art, plus the exterior art of Mary Jane and Black Cat has got me gonna maybe keep coming back. And I know you guys think it's crappy, but good. Look.
Actually, you know what? I don't think it's crappy at all. I think there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't like Mary Jane with powers, no matter how wonky they are or how
Mhm.
temporary. I agree with you wholeheartedly. The relationship between Black Cat and Mary Jane, with the added spice that Black Cat is seeing Peter, even though she promised Mary Jane that she wouldn't, is kind of keeping this book afloat. The rest of it's just window dressing. And the problem is, if you didn't like the window, if you don't like the story you're looking in, the rest is just going to colour your opinion, right? Um, I think for what it is, yeah, it's dialogue wise, it's funny. It's Jed McKay, it's what he does. Could I do without more mystic shenanigans that has no real impact on the main story? Yeah, probably. Um, but it's Jed McKay. You guys know how much I love Jed McKay, so I'm always gonna go and have a look and see what's going on. But yeah, I agree with you that it's the relationship between the two that works. I would, if Marvel, we talked about Marvel and continuity in books and stuff. This is the sort of book that Marvel should be putting out on a monthly basis, not the stuff stuck in limbo, but these two characters just hanging out and doing crazy stuff. This would make an interesting read. This would be fun. But what can I say?
You know
Still
what
not.
would be interesting is if the Mary Jane Black Cat Peter Parker love triangle was a subplot in the Amazing Spider-Man book, but it's not.
Not yet.
No, that's not gonna be. It's,
No, it's not because it's going to get resolved in this.
yeah.
You know.
So
You know?
I think that it would work way better as like a soap opera-ish type subplot over in Peter Parker, over in Amazing Spider-Man.
I just
But
wish
I mean,
sometimes.
Peter Parker is not even in this book. So
I wish to keep Black Cat street level. That's the only other concern I've got on this. When she went up in the King in Black storyline, that she had like a crossover and she managed to do all this crazy stuff.
they put her in an Iron Man suit.
Yeah, it's like, dude, can we not just keep a street level where she's using the smarts? When she broke into Stark Industries, for example, that was fun, right?
Right.
Yeah.
When she breaks into Doctor Strange's house to try and steal something, that's fun. When she breaks into the Fantastic Four house by dating Johnny Storm, that's fun. Yeah, I don't need to see her going toe to toe with demons and super powered people and having to rely on
Dr.
Iron Man
Doom.
suits and stuff like that. You know, it's like, yeah, come on, you know.
Yeah.
But
So I mean, this is one of those too many event crossover type books. Something that we don't need. We didn't need another Inferno. One of the big things. So we have Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen, and then don't we have a Queen Goblin coming?
oh, do we? Oh yeah, the Hobgoblin Queen. Oh.
Yeah, but so we have Goblin Queen, and then we have Queen Goblin. I don't know. There's a little brand copyright issues, I think.
Does that work if it's the same company?
It bugs the crap out of me when they do stuff like this. But anyway, this is really just kind of like a side quest, really, for the Dark
Yeah.
Web story, right? I mean, it has nothing to do with the main story. It's just an excuse to show a Mary Jane with random. What was that DC book? Dial H for Hero.
Yeah.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
That's
MJ for powers.
That's her power set. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So it's anyhow. All right.
Dial H for heroes.
Dial M for Mary Jane.
Yeah.
I don't know.
In that case, let's not take that out of context.
All right. So we're gonna jump to our final review, and we're gonna talk the Avengers book that came out this week, War Across Time.
At
And
least there's Avengers in it.
This one has Avengers in it. It has the original Avengers in it. It's an old school type book. I love this cover. If you look in the right-hand corner, it's approved by the Time Variance Authority, which I thought was hilarious. This is written by Paul Levitz. We have art by Alan Davis with colors by Rachel Rosenberg. Lettered by VC's Corey Pettit. And of course, the blame the editors Martin Biro, Annalise Bisa, and Tom Brevoort. This is an, I guess, would you call it a retcon story, or would you call it just a story that we never saw that happened in between the pages of Avengers 11 and Avengers 12 back in 1964? Who knows? They kind of tightly interweave this story with it happening right at the end of Avengers 11, where the team is returning to, their dimension, and quickly splits up. But if you read the first couple of pages, it really kind of gives you the feel of what was actually happening in the book. We had Hank that was a little jealous because Janet was flirting with all the other heroes on the team. And then you have Captain America, who had just recently been brought back to life, being kind of amazed at what people can do. Like he was amazed at how Thor can, fly, and how Hank can just grow. And I thought it was pretty interesting. Then you quickly jump to Kang, and we said it earlier. Kang is going to be the big villain of the year for 2023, and here he is. And this would chronologically count as his second appearance if we kind of really kind of get into it.
Let's get Lucas on that. Lucas, how much will this book be worth if this is his second appearance?
$0.
It's about $3.99.
This is a $5.99 book, by the way. That's so crazy to me.
Yeah. So this actually shows Kang being upset that the Spider-Man robot is destroyed. So he creates a Hulk robot, and that is basically the premise for the rest of this book, where the Hulk robot basically trounces the crap out of most of the Avengers until they finally are able to defeat him towards the end. And then after they defeat him, they realize that they're probably going to have to fight Kang several times before they can finally defeat him. And then it's, tune in next issue where the Avengers will fight Kang again. This actually answers some questions that we actually have probably asked before on this podcast, is when Kang gets defeated, why doesn't he just go back to the point he was defeated and take him on again and do it until he wins? This actually, I think, might actually do that, because they have the first appearance of Kang in Avengers number 11, and this happens in between the pages of 11 and 12, right? So I think that it's pretty interesting. I usually kind of groan a little bit when I see these retro stories. This is the first time I've actually seen Paul Levitz write for Marvel. Have you guys seen anything that he's written for Marvel?
No.
I've never seen it.
Can't say that I have, to be honest, but it is.
Yeah, interesting. And then Alan Davis, this is the first time I've ever seen him draw anything not inked by Mark Farmer, and I think it suffers for that a little bit.
Massively.
Yeah. The cover's nice, but the interior art, where I can tell it's Alan Davis at points, but there are other points that in the book that I'm just like, that does not look like Alan Davis's art.
Still, you take Alan Davis over a massive amount of artists, right?
Oh, of course. It's still a good-looking book. I'm not gonna. Don't get me wrong, but I do think that that Rachel Rosenberg's. I don't know if it's Rachel Rosenberg's coloring, or did Alan Davis actually ink his own work? Because I don't see an inker credited.
I would have liked to see the old school coloring, with like the pin dots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would have given the book a nice little feel, as opposed to the over digital stuff that we normally get now.
So as it goes with Avengers books, this is a really good Avengers book. It has Avengers in it. It has a established Avengers villain in it. It has touching on storylines from, of course, over 50 to 60 years ago now. So it's squarely geared towards us older type readers that might have read it at some point. But I enjoyed this book. It was probably one of the only books that I enjoyed this week, which is hence my rant this week. I'm waiting for issue 2. I'm one of the people that actually think Kang is going to be pretty good in the MCU. I'm waiting to see the Quantum Verse. I'm looking forward to it, actually. So, Lucas, what did you think of Avengers War Across Time number 1?
I know why you liked it is because it is a homage to that old style of comic book stuff, right? They very simplified the dialogue. They simplified the word bubbles. They made everything present. The art for the action just popped. You knew
Old
what
school
was going
panel
on.
layout. Yeah.
And it was just great, man. Freaking they should keep going with this. I don't know about doing it for $5.99 now. They should probably drop it back down to $3.99. Hey, go down to $2.99. Give this to me in cheap paper. I'm not going to worry about freaking collecting this at some point. I just want to read it. Drop the price down and keep giving me this simplified style. And once again, it was a great read. I liked everything that was. There's nothing forward thinking that's about this book that makes me, oh man, I'm going to pick this book up next week. But I do feel like I could read this book and then pass this off to my 8-year-old, and he'll fall in love with these characters and get a better understanding of who these characters were. So kudos to the team on this one.
Johnny,
it's old timers, but a day early. That's what this is.
there we go.
Time travel, Avengers, again. All right. So last time we were on the show, we looked at Avengers book, and the idea behind the Avengers book we looked at is to create that whole old school Avengers feeling. It's like, you know what's going on. There's a bad, just fall in the action, just go for it. One of the things that I'd like to add to the professor's list of things that could be improved with Marvel is the T word, and that's timing. Why would you have a book that is retroactively giving you that old school sense of fun, like this book is, 2 weeks after you've just produced a book that's supposed to generate the same feeling? I don't know. This book is by far better than the one we looked at last time. I love this book. It was fun. It was hawky. Who knew Janet was a bit of a goer, as they say up here in the UK. Dear me. She's got a sting in her tail, I'm sure. But still,
She's also very young in this book. I think they aged her up a little bit. She's supposed to be a teenager in this.
Yeah. So as you said, Alan Davis' art never gets old. His earlier stuff with Paul Neary and Mark Farmer is far superior to this. This is by the numbers, but still, I would take Davis by the numbers over a plethora of artists that are kicking around right now. So if old school Avengers is your bag and you like the harken back to a simpler time, then this book is right up your street. Yeah. So there you go.
100% agreed. All right. So
it's a 2-minute warning. We haven't had one for ages. Come on.
So hopefully you guys have been able to see the trailer for Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. It's coming out February 10th on Disney Channel, and then it'll be available on Disney Plus on February 15th. So we will get to review that. I know you guys can't wait for some Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur
Sorry,
action.
which day we're going to review that? I'll just book a holiday in now.
February 17th, so that Friday.
All right, so I'm sure I'm aware that time. I don't know where. I'll be somewhere.
Somewhere. We'll get to it. We'll get to it eventually. But look, this was a speculator's dream during the pandemic. The first appearance went up to $2,000. It's since dropped off because we don't know what the heck the MC is doing. They're doing all types of crazy stuff, and it just got a little weird right now. So people were kind of shying off of this book, but can't wait to see if this actually finishes through, especially with Lawrence Fishburne on the project. Stuff on the FOC, the Captain Marvel's Peach Momoko, Planet of the Apes variant.
What number Captain Marvel's that?
I don't have it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, all you need to know is Planet of the Apes.
Don't
you make a monkey out of me, Lucas?
Does Marvel have the Planet of the Apes license now?
I think just for this particular, because it's the 60th anniversary of the original movie of Planet of the Apes. So now they may, I don't know, but I do know that's why they're doing it.
Interesting.
And it just happens to be during Black History Month. So just saying.
I'm just saying the T word strikes again.
But Captain Marvel, Greg Land variant, surrounded by the Brood.
I don't have a problem with Greg Land. I know loads of people do, but I don't have a problem with him at all. You know what you get with Greg Land, don't you?
I'm loving these Fantastic Four covers, but the book stinks. Sorry.
Yeah, it's supposed to be about family, but it's just not hitting the spot. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. Fantastic Four. This one's the Alex Ross variant, and then this one is by Josh Swaby.
I don't like that one. Give me the Alex Ross one 10
Hulk.
times out of 10.
And then there's the Extreme Hulk variant.
What? That's stupid.
Apparently, Hulk likes monkeys because he's chilling with the pet. Whereas everybody else is fighting him, he's chilling. Then this is the 1 in 25. I don't know what's going on in this one because the Hulk looks like he's missing some chromosomes in this one.
Is the Hulk still a robot? Is Bruce
Yes.
Banner still flying the Hulk all over him? I am so done with that. It's crazy.
Some Marauders action, Planet of the Apes, then Mary Jane and Black Cat, J. Scott Campbell, Howard the Duck variant,
That's just quackers. Sorry.
Photon.
I'll leave now. I like that one.
Yeah, I'm actually liking that book.
Planet of the Apes. Photon. Spider-Man. Again, we don't need all these doggone covers, Marvel. Lost Hunt. This one is Spider-Man number 4, Lost Hunt by Maria Wolf.
I don't like that cover. Sorry.
My eyes hurt. It's like I've looked at a comic book without my glasses on. It's like, what's going on here?
So Star Wars stuff, Marauders. I don't know what's going on with some of these X-Men books and Venom books, but they've been fighting a lot of rats, huge rats lately. Not sure. This
That
Extreme
was the
X-Men
rat
homage.
variant.
I like that. That's kind of.
Wolverine, I guess, killing a bunch of apes. Motor Road Moon Knight. This is the Haltz variant.
Does anybody liking the Murder World series? That have you guys even read it?
No.
Well,
they're-
I was going to because I love Murder World's arcade, right? And I
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
I love the arcade with back in the X-Men and the Captain Britain Spider-Man Marvel team up. Absolutely loved it to bits. I thought it was class, just insane. That picked
Well-
up the recent book. I'm like, nope.
The little buyer beware for Murder World is like the first 2 issues. So Murder World Avengers, the Avengers that were in it were the robots that were trying to kill everybody. And then in Spider-Man, same thing. The Murder World Spider-Man was the characters, the superheroes aren't in it. It's an arcade book with, him sending the robots to kill normal people. So spoiler alert.
Avengers Forever. This is the first cover appearance of Doom Planet.
Pass.
Howard the Duck. And
That's
Planet of the
actually
Apes
pretty
series.
good.
Avengers Forever.
I like the Cersei.
Is that ForceWorks? Do you see Century in there? When's the last time he appeared?
I don't know.
That
A lot of
does
stuff.
look-
A lot of weird
That
stuff
is
going
the
on.
Yeah,
here.
that's Forceworks team, isn't it? Because you've got
Yeah.
was Cersei and Forceworks. I know
No, that's not
Spider-Man.
Cersei. That's Scarlet Witch.
Is it?
And War Machine and U.S. Agent and Spider-Woman and that green guy. I have no idea I can't remember who he is.
Do you know what? I do like the Julia Carter Spider-Woman.
Yes. Me too. Carpenter.
Yeah, sorry. What did I say? I meant
Carter.
Carter.
Invincible Iron Man.
Pass.
Oh, is that
No.
the reboot? Is that the new? Oh, it already rebooted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've looked at the
If it already rebooted, and already nobody cares.
Yeah.
Marvel Anatomy. Now there is a first appearance in this particular issue. It's not a huge superhero first appearance, but there is an interesting character that they decided to bring along. This one is the 1 in 25. And Nightcrawlers. There's a bunch of covers for this one. This is along the whole Sins of Sinister storyline.
Oh, the next event book.
Yeah.
So this is basically the same as the Miles Morales book that was out, right? What if Miles Morales was different superheroes? This is exactly the same, but with Nightcrawler, right?
I mean, it looks like it was. Is that Spider-Man in there too? Why is he? Okay. Anyway,
Yours is not to ask why, but to
Ours
give up
is
your
just
$5.99.
not to not buy. There you go. Pass.
Come on, you don't want to spend $5.99 for this stuff?
No.
Yes,
No.
I know you want it. I know you want it.
why are these all Spider-Man?
Star Wars Bounty Hunters. Here's the 40th anniversary.
Oh, look.
40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi.
Mm.
Someone
How
who
old
loves
do you feel now?
Leia.
Wasp.
Hey. There, she's got it going on.
It looks like it's done by the same creative team that did the Ant-Man miniseries, so I'm on board. I like it.
Is that the Janet Van Dyne Wasp, right?
Yes.
It looks like it. Yes.
The older Wasp, not the younger Wasp.
Yeah. Did they jettison the younger Wasp? Because it looks like they're concentrating way more on Janet
No,
now
she's
than
there.
Was that here?
So,
Who are these people here?
that's
That-
Nadia. Nadia,
Yeah.
the other Wasp.
Pustaska. Okay.
Yeah.
So the Fantastic Four, Mary Jane play
Like
Cats.
that one. Like that one. Although you know full well you're going to get the J. Scott Campbell one.
Marvel Voices. This is one that to keep an eye out on because apparently there's going to be a first appearance in this one. Marauders number 11. Don't know why they insist on doing this. Why don't they just get rid of Black Panther or just switch to another T'Challa Black Panther? It's okay to let your heroes die, people. Free comic book day, Marvel Voices. This is the character I was talking about, Kim, who is
That's
going to be.
Chemistro.
I don't know.
She's based on Chemistro, which is a old Power Man and Iron Fist villain.
Why is she wearing Bane's mask?
Why is she wearing a big old bullseye on her chest?
Huh.
Shoot here. No,
So this would be editors. Please go over costume design with your creators, please. She looks like Havoc.
some more Photon. Black History Month, Star Wars number 31 by Amanda Heaney.
Got it's Black History Month. We have to have a Lando Calrissian book.
Yep, got to have whoever this is.
Oh.
Bounty Hunters. Free comic book day stuff.
That would be the other black character that's in Star Wars. Sorry, didn't mean to.
Free comic book day. The Avengers, X-Men.
Who are we? Were we talking about that one in the back? Isn't that supposed to be Cyclops? That's his.
Or is that Captain Krakoa?
Yeah. Captain
Who the
Krakoa
hell is Captain?
It's Cyclops.
I'm not buying it. I'm not going to ask. I'll just wait for the fall to happen, and then I can get back to reading X-Men comics.
But this looks like is this a new Uncanny Avengers team? Because I see Rogue and who's that other one? Penance.
Oh, do you know what? Just think about this. Just 2 seconds. Is that not the mutant Captain America in front, the one that was resurrected, rather than the standard Captain America?
Yeah.
Well, does that mean that Captain America is a mutant now?
Yes.
Well, it means that this one is. Yeah, does it mean? Yeah, just say it. Just as an idea. Is that what the cover's trying to say? Because you look at it, he's the only Avenger in that book on that cover.
Well, Quicksilver.
Well, Quicksilver's also a mutant, isn't he? So
yeah.
So.
But why is Deadpool in there?
Because he's a mutant.
Yeah, he's a mutant now.
Is he a mutant now?
Mm-hmm.
Since when?
Wasn't he always a mutant? Deadpool?
Right. He's got the X chromosome from Wolverine, but they denied him access to Krakoa until he helped Wolverine find the freaking Cerebro freaking helmet.
Oh, I didn't think Deadpool was a mutant.
Okay, cool. There we go. Curious.
Amazing Spider-Man Venom, free comic book day.
Nope. Pass.
Marvel Voices, free comic book day. For the kiddies, free comic book day, Marvel Spidey and his amazing friends.
Where's Firestar? Where's Iceman? God damn it.
There is a 1 in 25 Invincible Iron Man. That's black and white kind of sketch cover deal.
Awful. Doctor
Strange second print for the Fall, Set, and Rise.
Why is that getting a second print? I think that book stinks.
Tell us how you really feel, Professor.
Sorry.
Mary Jane and Black Cat. And some Gold Goblin. Timeless, number 1, second print. And then there's going to be a 1 in 25. Scarlet Witch, number 1.
I looked at
that the one
book.
where she got a major power up in that?
I looked at the book and I love the character design for Scarlet Witch on this book, But man, I could not read the book. It was like, this is all over the shop.
They,
Could not.
I don't think that whoever wrote that, I can't. Is that Steve Orlando?
Yeah, it is.
If it is, so I don't know if he's ever read anything that has a Scarlet Witch in it, because I'm like, she can do absolutely anything. She's like friggin' Molecule Man or the Beyonder in this. She's like, she can do anything, and she's flying in this, and I'm just like, I don't get it. It's basically anything she wants to do, she can do.
I have issues with Steve Orlando's writing, which harks back to Batwoman. There you go. Cool.
Okay. Coming soon. We're not going to go through all of these. There's going to be some more Hulk in with your Donnie and Kate's goodness. Let's go to
Donny Cates has really kind of jumped the shark for me.
Venom.
Oh, look at that classic Amazing Spider-Man 361, 363 something color with Venom replacing. Yeah, classic cover.
Yep. This one's already sold out in the Diamond system, so good luck getting it out in the wild. This one is the 1 in 25 for that Venom cover.
Quite like that.
The return of Codex and Venom on the cover.
Oh, and the Dark Web. That's great.
Yeah. Screw this book. Wakanda. I forget what number this is. But people are insinuating that there might be a new character in this book.
Okay, but like besides Tosin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some Strange action.
Is Strange going to end anytime soon? Now
I hope so.
He's coming back, surely. Well, I like that cover.
He's coming back in March with a relaunch, so I imagine that Strange will end by then.
Avengers 2, Star Wars Yoda, number 1. So the number 1 book this week was the 150 Mandalorian book, so keep an eye on that one.
Well, that is the way. It
is. Star Wars Revelations, the second print of the Amazing Spider-Man number 14. That's out there, and then this is the 1 in 25, and that, fair gents, is the 2-minute warning, and thus the end of our gripes, complaints,
and celebrations.
To be continued 2 weeks from now, and I'm sure we'll have more. So. All right. Well, thank you for joining us on this rather
rambunctious
episode of No Price Podcast. Please join us in 2 weeks where we'll do this all over again.
Have you got that, Lucas? 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Is there a holiday in 2 weeks? I don't think so. So I'll be there.
No, I think we're done with holidays for a while.
Mark it on your tequila bottle.
All right. And until then, peace.
Adios.